All right, so we have England winning the toss now, and they are choosing to bowl. They elect to field England but put India into bat first, and that's the news that is just coming in. With that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Rahul Rawat.
Thank you, Sneha. And well, in as many matches, third time in as many matches, England have won the toss and have elected to field first. Well, India did win the first match by 66 runs. Then England bounced back in a great fashion in the second game and won that match quite comfortably. Though there was some artificial excitement when they lost those 3 quick wickets. But now, this is the match that is going to decide the fate of this series. India versus world champions England. England have won the toss and have elected to field first. Let me just tell you the team for India. India have made one change in their team, and Kuldeep Yadav, who looked out of sorts, has been dropped, and in place of Kuldeep Yadav, we have Natarajan, the left-arm fast bowler, has been inducted in this 11. And that's the only change that India has made in this 11 for the series decider. So, Virat Kohli is the captain, Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, Shardul Thakur, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Natarajan is the inclusion for this 11. And Kuldeep Yadav out of form and out of sorts, and his confidence also looked really affected in that both the games that he played. He went for plenty of runs, 84 to be precise in the second game, and wicketless as well. Well, he was quite a mystery for quite some time, but not anymore, and has been left out of this 11. England, as I said, have won the toss and have elected to field first. I have Harbhajan Singh, legendary India spinner, with me. Bajupa, welcome. And Bajupa, that 6th bowling option has been hurting this Indian team. Hardik Pandya is not bowling. Ever since this series started. He did bowl in the T20 series. So that's a concern for India.
I don't actually understand why they didn't bowl Hardik Pandya in the previous game, whereas we have seen him. He was bowling very well in the T20 series. If he can bowl 4-5 overs for Team India, even in this format, 50-over format, it'll be, a great thing. But it was very strange not to see him bowling. But the other bowlers, while they were going for a lot of runs, they could have tried at least a couple of overs with Hardik Pandya. Could have benefited them in a wicket or two. He's always been one of those bowlers. He might go for runs here and there, but he always picks your wicket. So yeah, it's a bit strange for me not to see him bowling, but I hope to see him bowling at least in this last ODI.
Well, Krunal Pandya did make an impressive debut in that first ODI. He made that 50, in fact, the fastest 50 by an Indian on debut. But his bowling is not too convincing. He's not been, he's got just 1 wicket in those 2 games. I was reading a column by VVS Lakshman this morning. In fact, he said that Krunal Pandya is not a 10-over bowler in ODIs. In fact, similar sentiments were shared by Virender Sehwag, Ajay Jadeja, even Ashish Nehra for that matter. Do you think his batting in that first game, and because you have to include somebody who's in form, who scored that 50, but it does disrupt the balance of this Indian team a bit?
It's so easy.
Well, see, I have a different point of view on this. You can't really judge a player from game 1 that he's brilliant, with the bat, and bowling wise, he can only bowl 4 to 5 overs. That's something really not I would like to do. I think we need to give him more games to understand what he can bring on the table, and then maybe, understand, this is what he can do, or this is something which he can't do. But I feel he's good enough to bowl 10 overs. We just need to understand the conditions and bowl according to the situation and field. And of course, there'll be a few days when you go for a lot of runs. And all I can tell you, when you're playing international cricket, these are very, very early days for Krunal Pandya. The more he's going to play, more he's going to learn, and of course, not everybody is the same, who spins the ball and get people out, stumping or something. But he's a different kind of a bowler who would need to learn to be successful in his own way at international cricket. So we need to give him more time to settle down and then see what he brings onto the table rather than just talking and putting our own mind into it, what he can do or what he can't do.
50 as well for Kohli.
All right, alongside Harbhajan Singh, I'm also joined by Boria Majumdar, our consulting editor. Boria, are we winning this game today?
I mean, on a holy day or dole day, what a superb question to start off with, Rahul. But England's won the toss. I mean, that gives them the advantage, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, any total that India gets, they have the batting lineup to chase. But I'm delighted that Natarajan's playing. So that gives you that left-arm option. And we have seen that Natarajan with his Yorkers can do the job, though he's not played much. So it is an interesting one. I would say that with the toss, England have the advantage. They are 55-45. But we said the same, you and me, even during the T20s, and tosses do not win cricket matches.
Right.
Ability does, potential does, performance does. So one expects two things from India. One, more intent at the top, a little bit more. Number two, do not let a Moeen Ali get away with a 45 or an Adil Rashid settle down. You need to attack. So these are the two changes, and along with Natarajan, so I would say it's 55-45, Rahul, in favor of England.
Well, as you said, that tosses do not mean that you are necessarily going to win, because we've seen India won 3 matches in a row, 2 matches in the T20s, last 2 games, and then the first ODI. So India won those matches after losing the toss. But Boria, you said Natarajan, as you said, that is the only change that we have in this Indian team. But it's the approach that's been quite, I won't say baffling, but India may have to change that approach, especially at the start. Because England have been scoring those boundaries. Perhaps those lack of boundaries up front is what is hurting this Indian team. Maybe the scores of 316, 336 can actually, India can actually finish, say, about 350.
That's a good question, Rahul, and I've been actually thinking about this. But if you get 335, 36, you'll take it, isn't it? I mean, 336, come what may, whatever anybody says, yes, the changed game is still a winning score. You need to bowl well and pick wickets to win. That's what has not been done. So if India is able to get into the English lineup and pick 2 of the top 3 in the first 15 overs, you will see a different game. No Morgan. David Malan has not looked great in any of the games except that 150 odd. Liam Livingstone has just played 1. Butler hasn't scored much. So all of a sudden, you are into a middle order which has not been able to contribute that much. So a 336 will all of a sudden start looking 360 if you have early wickets and Kuldeep Yadav leaked runs. So I'm quite satisfied with the way India has scored, but I know where you're coming from, and I agree that 4 runs and over in the first 10 in a 50-over contest is basically a strategy that one would apply about 5-6 years back. So one needs to see where India goes. Having said that, 335, I will maintain 100 times out of 100 was a good enough total.
Well, exactly, because Virat did mention about the change of strategy or the formula to win those T20 games. Maybe ODIs also, they might have to change that formula. Score those runs up front like Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow usually do. And also what is hurting India is the fact that they've not been able to pick those wickets up front in the power play. And that's not the case just in these two games. If you look at the record after the 2019 World Cup, India have lacked. In fact, India have lagged behind on that account. They've not been able to pick those wickets. But I assume, Bhuvneshwar is back, because this is not the full strength bowling attack that India has. Jasprit Bumrah, of course, is going to come back. We also have somebody like Mohammad Shami who's going to recuperate and should be fully fit. Then you'll have somebody like Ravindra Jadeja. So hopefully, up front they are going to get some wickets. But today it's a series finale. So you might have to pick those early wickets. Otherwise, we know what this English team can do.
Correct, and that's what I said. If you get 2 of the 3, if you get a Jason Roy, Ben Stokes and Johnny Bairstow, 2 of the 3 out, you are all of a sudden into a middle order which has not scored. And that middle order has not had too much exposure. Butler hasn't scored. Liam Livingstone has played 1 game. Malan hasn't been that proficient and only played 150 over contest. So all of a sudden, India is in the game. So you're totally correct. Having said that, I think today India's balance is more. Kuldeep wasn't looking confident. The moment Nattu comes in, you've got that extra fast bowler. I also think Hardik will bowl because this is the finale. So it's not as if Hardik is not in a position to bowl. They were managing his workload. So India has got about 7-8 options today. There's Bhuvaneshwar, there's Shardul, there's Nattu, there's Krunal Pandya, there's obviously Hardik Pandya will also come in and bowl today is what I believe will be the case. So that gives them that extra bowling cushion. So whatever India gets, it will be much more competitive than in the second game, which was a bit of a rout.
Well, absolutely. I also hope so. I hope India will be more competitive in this particular game. Bajuba, we were discussing about India's approach. You also share similar viewpoints, just as Boria mentioned, as far as scoring those boundaries in the initial overs are concerned.
Well, there's no doubt about having your own sort of game plan, and execute that game plan would be something Virat Kohli would like to do in this third game. And yes, in ODIs, you have to get the right sort of start, maybe first 15 overs without losing a wicket. If you can come across to that 90 to 100 runs on the board would be a brilliant start. So then you can have a firepower of Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant coming down the order and scoring those quick runs for Team India will definitely take them to 350 or maybe much more than that. So far we didn't get this kind of start India was looking to get in the first 15 overs of a 50-over game. But there's always a next time, and I hope tonight is going to be the night where India gets that start and put a brilliant game out there.
Well, all right. So there have been some consistent performers in the series which have made the difference so far. And then there have been some who have made their mark with immediate success. But when it comes to a big stage, in a match like this, it could well be the big boys who are going to make that difference altogether.
It is all about form in cricket.
Very well compiled 50.
When in form, it can make one look like God. And when out of it, one may look like a fool.
10 dismissal.
KL Rahul would know it better. In a space of couple of weeks, life's come a full circle for him. He was awfully out of form in the T20 internationals, and now in ODIs, he's the backbone of the Indian batting. He has already scored a 50 and 100 in the 2 games so far.
For KL Rahul. And it's come at a pretty good time for India.
He may have to pick his stroke rate up, but he's someone who isn't doing much wrong these days.
Gets enough of this.
Rishabh Pant had to sit out of the first game, and when he got his opportunity, he made it count.
Pulled away by Rishabh Pant. It'll bring up 200 for in.
He's a threat for every opposition because he can hammer even a good ball to the fence, like the way he did in the last game during his knock of 77.
Away for a 50.
Virat Kohli himself has been in sublime touch. He's scoring runs, half centuries, but there's been no century yet.
I never played for 100 in my life. That's probably the reason why I ended up getting so many in such a little time, because I never focused on them. And I'll continue to play this way till the end of my career as well. It's all about contributing for the team's cause. If the team doesn't win and you get a 3-figure mark, it means nothing to me. So along the way, if you get across a milestone, it's nice. It's a nice thing to achieve, but you're not going to sit back at the end of your career and look at numbers. It's about how you played the game, and that's more important to me. And I'll continue to put in my 120% on the field for my team, whether it's with the bat or in the field.
Tickled away fine.
The Indian captain has scored 4 half-centuries in as many innings and 5 in the last 6. With a big match on the cards, he may be England's man to watch out for. For England, It's been their starts that have hurt India. Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow have been on a bullet train right from the word go. Bairstow especially has been able to make his starts count. First with a 94 in a losing cause and then 124 in the last game that led England to victory.
And what a way to get to 100. Johnny Bairstow is on a roll.
Then a player like Ben Stokes can never be out of form. He may explode at any time like he did in the last game. But that has been his style and his English team's style as well.
There's another one. It's non-stop sixes from Ben Stokes.
Yeah, brilliant. I think the most pleasing thing from us as a team is that we didn't go away from, our values as a team. Obviously, we're bitterly disappointed in that first game with the way that we played in the chase, but, I think it was pretty clear that we were going to go out with the same intent as we always do. And, great chase and, really happy that we managed to get over the line quite easily, especially when India set a really challenging total.
These are the top two sides in the world and there is no dearth of talent on either side. Surely, the final ODI could well be decided by some of these big boys. Sports Bureau, India Today.
All right, so I hope big boys do come to the party. Bore, I've got very little time, but before I let you go, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions. In fact, Rohit Sharma is due for runs. Are we expecting a big one from him? And Virat also is due for his 71st international 100. Are we expecting something special for from these two boys?
Absolutely, and one between the two will get 100 is what I will say. So they are both in my fantasy team.
All right, and one more before I let you go. Have we seen the last of Kuldeep Yadav as far as ODI or maybe white ball cricket is concerned?
No, you can't. I mean, he's not even 24, 25 years old. How can you say you've seen the last? Yes, he's out of form and justifiably left out. But one good season of the IPL, one good domestic season. No, you've definitely not seen the last of Kuldeep Yadav because left arm wrist spin is still pretty rare. I wish him all the best. I hope he gets his confidence back.
All right, let's hope Kuldeep Yadav does come back, and let's hope that India also comes back stronger in this particular match, because this is what is going to decide the fate of this series. India won the Test series, India won the T20 series, and now India would like to sweep this tour of England. Well, news and updates will continue on the other side. Thanks for watching.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.